Welcome back to another episode of Married at First Sight with your girl Shannel. Okay, so we're going to be jumping into another episode, and the way I do it over here, honey, I watch all the episodes and then I go back to the beginning and start to break it down so that, did we see any red flags? Are there some things that we ignored? Are there some things that we really need to pay attention to? Is there a learning factor that we can pay attention to and learn from? And the answer is yes. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Now, the couple that we're going to talk about today is Miss Michelle and Cameron. Now, Michelle leads off by saying, her downfalls pretty much. She pretty much is saying that she may have fertility issues. And and that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad because it was very sad to her too because she started to cry and that was just leading off like, okay, Michelle is kind of emotional. Now, with fertility issues, if she's taking any type of medication or going through any type of therapy to kind of like get her body prepared to give birth or to get pregnant, maybe she was hormonal, and that's probably why she was very emotional. But then again, that's an emotional situation. She said that she was going through it at 26, which tells me that, being a mother is a big deal for her. And she thought that there was a possibility that she probably wouldn't be able to have children, but she's doing everything that she can medically to make sure that she's able to do so. Now, Michelle at this age is 34 years old, so she's been going through these issues ever since 26. She is a program manager. Cameron, who is 37, who she's matched to, is a college basketball coach. Now, one thing that stood out with Michelle is, of course, she's so cute. She got dimples. She's adorable. And but she was very concerned when she made her request that she was looking for somebody that made a certain amount of money. And they still matched up with Cameron. Now, Cameron later came out and said, listen, girl, okay, I don't make that much money, that you wishing for. And she was only looking for somebody to make like 100 something, I think 150,000 or 100,000, something like that a year. And Cameron was like, yeah, that ain't me. It's like, Cameron, how? I mean, you ain't making at least 100,000, baby. I mean, you ain't using your privilege right, baby. Okay, because just by the looks of you, you should qualify for that much. Okay, per the United States census, baby. Um, they determined that, yeah, just by your looks, you will automatically qualify for that with any job you apply for. But then again, babe, I guess he ain't used his privilege to his best abilities. Either way, Cameron is a head coach. He's at a community college. He's not even playing for a university, so that's probably why. And it's like, Cameron, are you being a little lazy, baby? Why you didn't apply for the university to play on those levels? Because let his friends tell it he guarded. Now they didn't really just say play against or something like that. They said he guarded. Um, what's his name? They play for the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry. And so they was just really bragging on him. They were saying that he, just such a good guy. He has the skills to pay the bills. They were just really just building it on when it came to Cameron. Like, everybody had nothing but good things to say about Cameron when it came to his friends. And but the thing about Cameron is he said that he has never been in a long-term relationship. Red flag. Okay, because Cameron, you're 37 years old, you're almost 40. How you have never been in a long-term relationship? And if you go ahead and go by what the matchmakers say, they say he that dude, he that guy. But they said that he don't even know it. They say he got the height, the looks, the career, the ability, the everything, and he that dude. And that's what Paul said. He that dude. But they said the good thing about it is that Cameron don't even know it that he that dude. So, um, but I'm like, yeah, Cameron don't know it at all. And I don't know if y'all know what that dude is, because yes, he is tall and he's not a bad looking guy. He do seem like he's nice initially, but I mean, baby, he ain't making no more than $100,000. He really ain't that dude. And Cameron said he know it. That's the thing. Cameron is humble with his abilities. So either way go, he said that, he never just had a long-term relationship. The last girl that he asked out ghosted him. So it's like, Cameron, what's really going on? What's going on behind closed doors that you are being ghosted since the matchmakers think you that dude? And again, anybody can be ghosted. You never know. The girl could have probably had a whole husband or a whole man at home. Who knows why she ghosted him? You know, it may or may not been because of what Cameron did. I don't know. But either way go, he said he's dating with intentions, but being told to slow down. So that means that he probably come across with the girls that he's attracted to, the girls that he pick out. He probably come across as being too strong, come across as being too needy, come across as calling too much, texting too much, giving too much, and you can't give too much to the wrong type of girl at all. And so he may be doing that. That's what I picked up when it came to him. And that's why he hasn't been in a long-term relationship, because his ideal girl is not attracted or wanting what Cameron is putting down. And that matters when it comes to dating. Now, Michelle, she is, again, I have to make it be known that Michelle is always somewhere crying at the beginning due to wanting a family and love. She wants family and love so, so bad. I mean, to the point that it's taking over her emotional state. And it's like, girl, okay, stop all that crying and go out, go have a good time, go enjoy the world, and then you'll meet your guy. But she said no, she'll just sign up for Married at First Sight and hope and pray that they hook her up with the right type of guy. And they actually did. They actually did. Initially she feel like she's very much attracted to Cameron, and she's adorable. Now, at first, when I first saw how Cameron was looking at her, it was like Cameron acknowledged that she's beautiful. I mean, you could tell that he sees that she's beautiful, but is she his ideal type? Probably not. I bet you he probably never dated somebody that looked like Michelle. But either way go, he was open, and he accepted Michelle. Now, Cameron has a very loving mother and father. And the thing about it is, he does have a adopted sister who happened to be Asian as well. So he said that Michelle is not, is reminds him, not really reminding him of his sister, but he pretty much said that he has an Asian sister. He let that be known. So it's not like he was biased to not want an Asian woman. It's just that I could just tell that when he goes out and picks a woman, Michelle probably is not the one that he would pick. You know, but either way, Michelle, mother and father, have been together for over 30 years. So that's a green flag that shows that she has seen love. She has a foundation when it comes to both of her parents. Cameron also has a foundation when it comes to both of his parents. So both of those two people, they both connect on that. So that's a good foundation that they have together. Michelle made it be known that she wants a tall man with brown hair, smart, and that makes over 100K. Now, he fits the tall. He tall. He look like he about 6'5", if not taller. He has the dark color hair. He's I mean, he talks like he's smart. I mean, I don't know what degrees he have or don't have, but he does seem like a smart man. He hasn't said anything dumb so far. So far so good. The only problem is the 100K. Now, Michelle eventually, when she had the conversation with Cameron, she let it be known that that's what she was looking for. He said that he didn't have that, and she was like, "That's okay, okay, because you got the tall part, and that's what matters to me." And then she didn't say it just like that, but that's what I took from it. So she said that she makes enough money, so she can settle for somebody that does not make 100K, because he said right now, you know, even though coaching is a dream job of his, but it's not his only dream. He said he's willing to do other things to fulfill his dreams when it comes to career. He looking to make more in the future if he continue to win. I guess he over there losing, baby, over there at the community college. He ain't coaching properly, okay? Or the team just ain't picking up what he's putting down. So he said if he started winning more, he could possibly get a raise, baby, because they said they ain't giving no raise to nobody who losing. All right. But either way, now the thing about it is Michelle's father didn't come to the wedding, but he wrote her a beautiful letter. Um, that now she said that the reason why her father didn't come, because she said she signed up for the show, her father didn't sign up for the show. And so that tells me in my mind that daddy does not approve of this type of dating situation. Or he could have simply just not want to be on TV, or he could have just came to the wedding still and just said just don't film him. It's simple. He just don't have to sign the consent. But he didn't even show up at all. He just wrote her a letter. And she said that her family was, her parents were actually match made. They was put together by matchmakers. But I think they was matched by their family, which is just like, setting up some type of arranged marriage. So that's different from what they're doing. He probably don't approve of her dating a stranger. But if he knew that she was matched up with somebody that looked like Cameron, I bet that he would have approved of that probably, because certain cultures do want you to stick with their own cultures, but there are some exceptions that they're willing to take. And I feel like Cameron is one of those people that they're willing to take on. That's what I feel like. So either way go, Cameron walks down the aisle alone. He didn't walk with a mother or father, anything like that. And I thought that that's how men supposed to walk down the aisle. They walk down either alone, or they walk down with their best men, his groomsmen. They walk down first, and then he come down after them. So he walked down like a man. I like that. He was looking very handsome in his suit. He was looking very handsome at the altar. Michelle Mons smiles with approval. Again, like I told you, certain men I feel like the family would definitely approve of, and Cameron was definitely the guy that the mother approved of. She smiled and she was very happy with the choices that was made for Michelle. Now, Michelle, baby, she comes in like the princess that she is, and she comes in on a horse and carriage, baby. She came down in her chariot, if you will, and she comes in with the horse. Her brothers walk her down the aisle. Her brother does, you know. And so when the first meeting, they made direct eye contact. The dimples was dimpling. Okay, both of them have dimples. You can even see Cameron's dimple through his 5 o'clock shadow. Well, he got more of a 12 o'clock shadow, baby. It's a little bit more than a 5 o'clock, but it's still not a full beard. So you can still see his dimples, and then you can see Michelle's dimple. She was very smiling. She was happy. She approved. Cameron looked very serious during the whole marriage. He was taking it seriously, and sometimes his serious look kind of came across to me as, she's pretty, but she's not my type. That's how he was looking sometimes, and I'm like, do you like her or not? And I think that's just his demeanor. But again, I stand behind that. I don't think that she his ideal type. Not to say that he wouldn't date her or he's not attracted to her. I just don't think she initially would be somebody that he will approach. Now, Cam Friend said that he played again with Steph Curry and was a great basketball player and a great person to be around. Um, Now, after the wedding, when they had their reception, nothing really stood out to me at the reception. Cameron says, now I got to get used to being with someone and sharing my alone time. And I side eye him on that one. I'm like, wait a minute now, Cameron, what you mean by that? And so what he's saying is he specialized in being alone. He said he liked having his alone time, and he got to get used to sharing his time. Now there go the red flag for me, because that showed up in their marriage. Because eventually, one day he was laying on the couch and he was telling her that he was having a hard day. You know, I guess probably a hard day at work. Came home and she was hugging on him and she was trying to see what was the issue with him. And he was just saying that it's a lot on his shoulder. He's going through a lot, and pretty much she was saying, I just want to be left alone. And she was like, okay. She gave him a kiss and she like, okay, I'll let you go ahead and sit with yourself and sit with your thoughts. And she moved on with it. And so that's a red flag. Now, Michelle, again, I like the way she handled it. She didn't try to hound him or anything like that. But she didn't see it as a red flag, because it's like, what's the issue, Cameron? Because I'm sure y'all ain't paying no bills in that little condo y'all living in. I'm sure that the show is flipping the bills. So maybe they still have to pay bills at their homes, at their prospective homes. That could possibly be it. But Cameron probably also feel like he ain't gonna get that raise on that check, baby. That check ain't gonna be raised up. He ain't gonna get that promotion if he's still over there losing games over there at the community college. So that could be also an issue that's going on. Either way, he said he needed his alone time. Michelle granted him that alone time. And he said that this right here is becoming a challenge for him, because again, he said he never had a relationship more than 6 months. And this right here, the relationship that they have right now with Michelle, married at first sight, it's only 6 weeks long. So then they kind of like a little bit over half through the process. So he haven't even been with her, not even a whole month. and he already talking about he getting tired of it. Okay, and so, and I'm like, what Michelle doing? Now the only thing I see the red flag with Michelle, she up and down. Like, okay, this is what I see with Michelle. Now when she first started off, she was crying a lot, and that could get on your nerves too. But okay, she was being emotional. But then Michelle also laugh a lot. She do a lot of giggling with everything, and that'll get on my nerves eventually. It's like, girl, okay, there's nothing to really be giggling about. So I feel like that's a mechanism that she uses to kind of like, I guess, to get along, or to avoid conflict, or to avoid situation. Now she very much all about conflict, because when they over there at the group sessions, Michelle gonna make sure she give her 2 cents, her 3 cents, her 10 cents worth, baby. She gonna give $1.50 worth of her opinion on everything. She gave her opinion on Mecca and Belle, which Belle did not like at all. She said that Mecca was very performative and putting on for the city. She didn't like that. And she later apologized because Belle and Mecca confronted her about that. They was like, girl, what are you talking about? We being performative. If anything, Michelle can be performative as well. Like, again, with all that giggling that she does. So you calling out Mecca for being performative, which he was, okay? And because he was doing too much, team too much, I feel like. But girl, you do the same thing with all that giggling and laughing that you do. And because it's like nothing's funny. So why are you laughing? Now, maybe you smiling because you want to show off your dimples. I get that. Okay, they're cute. But it's like, girl, pay attention to your husband, because he over there showing signs of pulling back a little bit. And the thing about it is, I like how she handled it. She does not push herself onto him. She do kind of draw back. But what's gonna happen every 2 days he wants you to draw back? Are y'all gonna be in separate rooms, separate location? Are y'all ever gonna come back together to, you know, come up with a solution so that you don't have to be apart so much? I don't know. Okay, we haven't dug into that because they don't see that as a problem. They don't even bring it up at all. And then Cameron, at the last session, he was kind of combative when it came to Felipe. He was telling Felipe, "Listen, baby, you ain't gonna find nobody better than Tori," because Felipe was talking about he was wanting to cheat. He was having a hard time being committed. He said he don't know if he can stay committed. And then Cameron just came out and keep it real, like, Felipe, who you think you about to get that's better than Tori? What do you mean you're not going to be able to commit to her today? You committing right now because we own you. But what about tomorrow? Mecca also was on to Felipe when it came to that. So Cameron and Miss Michelle, baby, be on everybody when it comes to their issue. When it comes to their issues, they act like it's no big deal, and they do have some issues. But again, they don't point their issues out at all. And she also feel like the thing about Cameron is that the reason why he's not in a long-term relationship, because what he does is he kind of picks apart his relationship, or he sees something wrong, and then he claim he runs. But it's like, I thought you said that the people are ghosting you. So who is ghosting who? Are you ghosting? Are y'all both ghosting? What's happening? And then Michelle did notice that, and she said, I feel like that, you're gonna nitpick me apart to the point that you're gonna push me away. And I agree. That was a red flag, and I'm glad she picked up on it. But again, she said it, and then she kind of giggled and smiled it away. And that's a serious thing, because think about it. If Michelle can't truly be who she is, and she'll be afraid to be truly who she is, just like Marissa is, they never gonna connect on a true, authentic type of connection, because she is not being authentic. She feel like if she does be authentic, she gonna be nitpicked apart by Cameron, which I believe she really will be, because Cameron, it seemed like the type that will nitpick, because again, he want to push you away. He want to find a reason to push you away. And Michelle is not really giving him that reason to do that, because again, how can you push away somebody that's cute, little adorable with dimples and always giggling and smiling? And plus, Michelle gonna be able to pay them bills, Cameron, when you over there losing. Okay, so you don't want to push her away too much. And then what he did is, when she said that, she's like, "I'm afraid that you might nitpick me apart." And not one time did Cameron say, "Oh no, that'll never happen. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Or I'm gonna try not to do that." Girl, all he did was he got very quiet and he started to look out the window, girl. He looked out the window. He didn't confirm or deny. He didn't say he wasn't gonna do it. He didn't none of that. So and she just sat there and smiled and looked at him. And it's like, yeah, girl, y'all got some issues, and I'm gonna need the matchmakers to get together and break down what y'all going through over there, because I feel like what they're going through is probably not. They probably gonna know how to put on for the city when it comes to the show. Eventually, I think at the end, when it comes to decision day, if bills are due and Cameron can't pay the bills, baby, he probably gonna say yes, to Michelle, because Michelle got the money. Because way Michelle talking, she over there making plenty of money being a program manager. But if the bills are not due, baby, he winning over there, he probably gonna push her away some kind of way, because again, he valued his alone time, and it is starting to show. The cracks are starting to show in this relationship, but they're not showing it. They're not putting it on display. They making it seem like they such the perfect relationship, and it's not perfect. Now, again, it's better than what the other couples are going through, but I feel like a lot of stuff is not being shown, and some of these people know how to put on in front of the camera. And because what Michelle is not being emotional at all when it comes to Cameron. So she's not over there crying and being sad, because I feel like he's her attractive. She's very attracted to him, and she wants it to work. So she's gonna make sure she's showing her most polished self. She's gonna make sure that she's smiling, keep being happy all the time. She don't want to show any crying, because her friend, aka her brother or her best friend, said that one thing about Michelle is she is strong will, and she definitely would give you a piece of her mind. So she could turn to a little tiger over there, but she's not showing none of that tigerness when it comes to Cameron at all. And I believe she probably be afraid to show it, or she probably don't have a need to show it. He When they went back and looked at each other's home, they both had nice homes. Michelle had a home that showed that she was very talented. She loves to paint. She's a very great artist. She's also very much a homemaker. Her home felt very cozy and warm. She also did a lot of DIY to her home to make it more cozy. So she's very hands on. So you can tell that she's very independent. She don't really need a man, but she wants to be loved. She wants to be in a relationship. But I do think that her independence is going to start to show, which is going to throw Cameron off, because I don't see Cameron as wanting to be with a independent, strong type of woman. It seemed like as long as Michelle being giddy and smiley and showing her dimples, it's just like it's causing him not to want to push back. But if she start being like a tiger baby doing too much, it's gonna be so easy for him to push back, and I feel like he's gonna push back on her, and that's gonna cause a rift in their relationship. So if they make it through the end, that'll be good, because I feel like they will. But I feel like in reality, when reality start to kick in, that tiger come out of Michelle, and Cameron start, showing his true colors. I feel like it's gonna be kind of toxic. And I feel like both of them are smart enough to work through it. I think they both got emotional intelligence where they can work through it. But the fact that they're ignoring their issues, they don't see their issues, but they see everybody else's issues when it comes to the couples, and they see all the couples' issues except their own issues. And so that may be an issue when it comes to that relationship. Let's see what else we got with them. Um, yeah, that's probably it. Cameron, he don't give too much of nothing. When they're together on the screen, it's very much a, I wouldn't say a snooze fest, but it kind of is, And so it's not like oh, they're just really so hyped, and no, it's none of that going on. Michelle is not really showing her true self when it comes to her and Cameron. But girl, put her over there with the rest of the couples, honey. Michelle gonna come out. Okay, Cameron, and when it comes to Sean and Nikki, Cameron got a lot to say about that. Michelle has a lot to say about their relationship. And matter of fact, Cameron came out and said, when it comes to Felipe and Tori, Nikki and Sean, and also who else she said? Oh, Devin, not Devin. Was it Devin and I think it was Devin and Caitlin. He said all of them need to go home. He said all y'all need to go home. None of y'all, all y'all need to call it quits tonight. It's like, wait a minute, Cameron, who the hell? Who you think you are, Cameron? Cameron, you're not even showing your true self over there. You want to push this girl away so bad, but she's not giving you no reason to, so you can't do that. So you're gonna just try to push the other couples away from the table? I was so shocked when he said that. Baby, they had to end the show. They were like, "Yeah, this is gonna be the end of the show, baby. That's all we got for today." Cause Cameron done showed his butt for no reason. And it's like, what do those folks do? Those folks over there working on their relationship, they are showing their side, the side of them that they're saying they have issues. They're working on their issues. They're not perfect. And here go you and Michelle over there breaking everybody's relationship down except your own. And then Cameron just gonna come out and say, y'all need to go home. Even though the first time that Michelle came out and spoke about somebody's relationship, Cameron was like, yeah, you let them have it. You came on a little too strong. And and it was like, it was almost like a red flag to him, but at the same time, he didn't really fault her for it because he kind of agreed with what she said. But he was just saying that her approach when it came to Mecca and Belle, because Mecca and Belle didn't deserve for her to just come in and say that Mecca seems fake or Mecca is not authentic. Yeah, Mecca was being performative to the outside eyes, but Mecca wear black nail polish. Okay, Mecca wear a little a scarf around his head, baby. I mean his neck. So he is very performative for no reason. But you don't know if that's him or not. You can't just say that that's not him, you know, because I think it's he does have a bipolar type of and let me show who we talking about. No, not them. Him. He does have somewhat of a bipolar type of personality. Sometimes he's just so laid back, he's in his head. He's but then when he's showing his so-called personality, it does come across very performative. It comes across as, he's over exaggerating, because he was like, when I saw Bella Jolie, because he already said that she ain't his type and he wasn't attracted to her initially. But he like, but she had that wagon behind her. She had that thing and it was thinking. And I felt like, yeah, that was inappropriate to say about your wife. You didn't have to say that. You was over the top. And I agree with Michelle for calling him out on that. But at the same time, I feel like that is his personality. I think that's how he adapts. I think because he lost his mother at a young age, not that she passed away, she just left him and that daddy. And then he lost his stepbrothers and stepmother because of that daddy. And then he was stuck with that daddy. And that daddy is somewhat you would be bipolar. Let's just say that you would be bipolar if you had his type of daddy. You just wouldn't be sane. And so I feel like what we've seen is a product of his environment. And he don't really know where he fit in between being real laid back or being over the top. He just don't know. And Bella Jolie says she accepts him because she sees that is who he is, but she don't know, baby, he going through some things and he don't know where he belong. So again, when Michelle had called him out, Cameron thought, okay, yeah, you came across real hard on them. And she was like, well, yeah, and she recognized the error of her ways. So that's why when she went back to the group session, that she apologized to him. But Belle wasn't trying to hear that. She felt like it still was uncalled for. Why did you call out my man like that? It made him feel a certain type of way. So Belle trying to be Mecca's daddy, I mean, I'm sorry, Mecca's mama. And it's like, Belle, you got mommy issues a little bit too and daddy issues. So you over there trying to be too much of a protective of a man who ain't even protecting your heart. Okay? He's not. So, so yeah, so I think Cameron saw that little piece of Michelle when she was in the group session, and it kind of came across on him because he was very hard on the group. The very last episode that I just watched, he was very hard. But I feel like when it comes to Michelle doing it, when she starts to be this tiger in their relationship, is he going to be able to take it? Baby, is he gonna be able to take the growls? Okay, is he gonna be able to take the strong present that she's gonna be putting on him? And I don't know because I think that he's very attracted to her now, but I don't think that she's his ideal type. She is very attracted to him. He is her ideal type, and that's why she kind of holding herself back. And so by her holding herself back, he can't withdraw because he don't have a reason to. But when she starts showing herself, because when he ain't, his check ain't checking, baby, his wins ain't winning. Therefore, he ain't getting no promotion, and he gonna be coming in being in bad moods because of him losing. Is she gonna be able to take that? Is she gonna be able to, hold back who she really is? And when she do show her true self in the time when he's already losing, okay, on the court, would that cause a big clash to the point that they separate or they break up or he withdraw for a long period of time? And I feel like that's going to be an issue. So hopefully they can bring that up to the forefront when it comes to when they talk to the matchmakers. I hope the matchmakers can see that and talk about it before it's too late. But until then, baby, I wish them the best, because right now they are the ones that's ahead of the class, because again, they do have emotional intelligence, and they do know when to pull back and support. And I think that's important, especially in the beginning of a relationship and to maintain a relationship. So that's going to be this show, girl. I hope y'all enjoy it. Okay, I can't wait till the next drop comes out. But stay tuned for the next episode, and I'll talk to you later.